The story begins in Kandahar, Afghanistan. A military unit is sent to assist a frontline convoy that has run into trouble on the road. One of their armored vehicles has overheated due to a problem in the radiator system, leaving the convoy stranded in the middle of a dangerous area. This situation brings together two brothers who are both serving as infantry soldiers in the U.S. Army.
Wait, you know this guy? This one?
I have the exact same tattoo by coincidence.
What no one realizes at first is that the breakdown was not an accident. The younger brother had actually sabotaged the vehicle himself. He simply did not want to stay on the front lines any longer. Deep down, he hoped to survive Afghanistan and return home so he could enlist again, this time as a ranger. Becoming part of the Army Rangers had always been a shared dream for both brothers. Hearing this, the older brother begins to reconsider his own path. The idea of chasing that dream together starts to feel possible. He promises that when the time comes, they will both try to become Rangers. But that promise never gets a chance to come true. A sudden attack hits their position, and in the chaos of the ambush, the younger brother is killed right in front of his older sibling. And this is War Machine. 2 years pass. The older brother is no longer young, but he has not forgotten the dream they once shared. Determined to carry it forward, he signs up for the Ranger selection program. Even though he still suffers from a knee injury caused by the Kandahar incident, he refuses to back down. In fact, he is already at the maximum age limit allowed for Ranger candidates. This means the test he is about to take will be his final chance. Before the program begins, the instructors give all candidates a strict rule. From this moment on, they must forget their names. During the selection process, no one will be called by their real identity. Instead, each person will be known only by a number. The older brother receives the number 81. Soon after, Sergeant Torres stands before the candidates to deliver the opening briefing, accompanied by another instructor named Sheridan. They explain that the Ranger selection program will push every candidate to their absolute limits. For 8 weeks straight, they will be tested physically, mentally, and emotionally. Those who survive the process will move on to the final stage, a simulated mission known as the Death Line. Reaching the finish line of that mission will determine who truly earns the title of Ranger. The selection begins, and the candidates immediately face brutal tests designed to break them down. Day after day, the training drains every ounce of strength from their bodies and minds. One by one, candidates start dropping out or getting eliminated. After 4 weeks, number 81 stands out among the remaining trainees. Despite his injured knee and the disadvantages he carries, his performance consistently ranks among the best. At one point, an instructor asks about his previous deployment. That question reveals something many of the others did not know. Number 81 is the only survivor of the Kandahar incident. His story had already spread through military circles. He was the soldier who carried his brother's body for 16 miles after the attack. Later during a meal, candidate number 15 talks too much about the story. As punishment for the disturbance, the instructors force all remaining candidates to undergo additional training exercises. By the 7th week of selection, exhaustion has become constant. Every night, number 81 is haunted by the memories of Kandahar in his sleep. Even so, he refuses to quit and manages to reach the final week of the program. Then one particular test pushes his injured knee to its limit. The pain becomes almost unbearable, yet the memory of Kandahar keeps him moving forward. His determination nearly costs him his life when he almost drowns during one of the training exercises. After witnessing this, Sheridan begins to believe that number 81 might eventually become a liability for the Rangers. Because of that concern, he instructs Sergeant Torres to send number 81 to his office. While waiting outside the room, number 81 notices a news report playing on the television. NASA has just discovered an asteroid entering Earth's atmosphere, and according to the report, it appears to be carrying some kind of unknown object. Soon after, number 81 is called in to meet Sheridan. Sheridan acknowledges that 81's physical abilities are well above average compared to the other candidates. But in his eyes, the real problem lies in the soldier's mental condition. He has noticed how 81 isolates himself from the rest of the group and often suffers from disturbed sleep. All signs point to unresolved trauma from the Kandahar incident. Sheridan advises him to withdraw from the Ranger program and return to his previous role as an Army mechanical engineer. But number 81 refuses to give up. 8 weeks finally pass, and the entire selection program comes to an end. When the results are announced, number 81 is shocked to discover that he has successfully passed. The moment finally arrives for the last simulation mission. Sergeant Torres explains the objective to the remaining candidates. In this scenario, they will operate behind enemy lines. Their mission is to destroy a stranded military aircraft in hostile territory and then continue with a rescue operation to save the pilot, who will be held captive by the instructors, acting as the enemy force. Torres also explains that the candidates will be equipped with weapons that contain no real ammunition. Whoever manages to reach the finish line before nightfall will earn the right to be called a ranger. However, Sheridan decides to make things harder for number 81. Instead of simply participating, 81 is ordered to lead the squad, replacing number 7, who had been the team leader until now. Not long after, the remaining candidates are transported by 2 helicopters. One of the instructors points out the large mining area below, explaining that it marks the boundary of the Deathline simulation zone. One by one, the candidates step onto the ground. With that, the mission officially begins. Since number 81 is not someone who talks much, his deputy takes the initiative to motivate the team and keep morale up. Meanwhile, 81 focuses on giving clear instructions. He orders the group to rest for 20 minutes. During that time, he chooses to stay awake and keep watch, knowing that the instructors could launch an ambush at any moment. During this quiet moment, number 7 attempts to talk with him about Kandahar, but number 81 refuses to revisit that memory. Instead, he concentrates on scanning the surroundings. Then suddenly, an explosion erupts somewhere in the sky above them. After witnessing that strange event, number 81 immediately decides to shorten their rest time. The following morning, while leading the team, number 81 spots an aircraft resting in the middle of a river. Believing this to be their target, he quickly begins planning how to destroy it. But number 57 points out something strange. The coordinates of the aircraft do not match the location they were given in the mission briefing. Number 111 attempts to confirm their position with command, but the communications signal suddenly cuts out. Instead of a response, the radio begins producing strange interference that eventually disables the device completely. Assuming this must be some kind of trick by the instructors, the squad forms up and cautiously moves closer to the aircraft. At that same moment, number 81 notices something shimmering in the distance and decides to check it out. Meanwhile, the rest of the team moves forward and prepares the explosives needed to destroy the aircraft. But when 81 reaches the object, he is shocked by what he finds. The wreck he discovers is actually the aircraft intended for the simulation. That means the plane the others have just planted explosives on does not belong to the exercise at all. By the time he realizes the truth, it is already too late. The charges detonate. Yet the explosion leaves the strange aircraft completely unharmed. Not even a dent appears on its surface. However, the blast triggers a reaction from the mysterious craft. Without warning, the aircraft begins to transform. Its structure shifts and unfolds until it becomes a massive combat machine resembling a Metal Gear. The alien machine emits a blue light that sweeps across the area, as if scanning for living beings nearby. Soon, a red beam locks onto one of the soldiers. None of them realize that the light is actually a targeting laser for the machine's weapons. Panic spreads and the squad runs for their lives. Their escape leads them straight to the edge of a steep cliff, but the danger is far from over. The Metal Gear launches futuristic grenades that explode right in front of them. Several soldiers are killed in the blasts. Number 57 is gravely wounded when a large tree branch pierces through his body. At the same time, number 7 suffers a broken leg, leaving him unable to move on his own. Number 81 cannot find the communication device, so he decides to climb back up the slope to retrieve it. While moving through the area, he witnesses a horrifying moment as one of the soldiers is killed by the Metal Gear robot. He quickly returns to the rest of the team, arriving just as number 57 takes his final breath. Realizing that the Metal Gear is actively tracking them, number 81 immediately orders everyone to move away from the area as fast as possible. One by one, the soldiers begin descending the steep cliff. Number 96 asks 81 to carefully receive number 7, who must be lowered down because of his broken leg. But as soon as 81 reaches the bottom, he notices something strange happening with his compass. The needle begins spinning wildly, a clear sign that the Metal Gear is somewhere close to them. Moments later, the machine fires a blue laser that burns away the bodies of the fallen soldiers. After that, it begins scanning the surrounding area, searching for any survivors still hiding nearby. Number 7 lies helpless, completely unable to move. Under normal circumstances, he would have become a burden to the group, but his teammates refuse to abandon him. Instead, they continue carrying him as they escape. Once they believe they have put some distance between themselves and the Metal Gear, the group sets number 7 down to examine his injury. The sight of the blood immediately triggers painful memories for 81, bringing the trauma of Kandahar rushing back. Meanwhile, the others begin speculating about the mysterious machine hunting them. Some wonder if this could actually be part of the Ranger test. Others suspect that some foreign military power might be interfering with the mission. Since they have no morphine, number 7 must receive first aid without any anesthetic at all. When he eventually loses consciousness from the pain, number 81 finally shares what he discovered earlier. He explains that the aircraft he found appears to be unrelated to the simulation, and he believes the machine they are facing might be some kind of unknown alien object. Their escape soon leads them to a powerful river with a dangerously strong current. Carrying number 7 across the water is impossible, so they decide to use a rope line to cross to the other side. Number 81 crosses first and secures the rope to a tree, creating a line that the others can use to slide across. Number 15 goes next while carrying number 7. Halfway across the river, the knot in the rope suddenly slows their movement and nearly causes number 7 to fall into the rushing water. Seeing the danger, 81 and number 44 rush to help stabilize them. But at that exact moment, the compass begins spinning wildly again. The Metal Gear has found them. The machine immediately opens fire, forcing everyone to lose their grip and plunge straight into the river below. The Metal Gear quickly follows their movement along the water. During the chaos, number 81's leg becomes tangled in the rope they had set up as a crossing line. For a brief moment, the Metal Gear locks its red targeting laser onto him. Number 81 nearly becomes its next victim, but the shot misses by sheer luck. Unfortunately, the danger is far from over. Up ahead, the river leads directly to a massive waterfall. As they struggle to stay afloat, number 60 suddenly appears. He had been separated from the group earlier, and now he manages to help pull them out of the water. After catching their breath, the group remembers the second part of the mission. The village where they are supposed to rescue the captured pilot lies somewhere beyond the mountain nearby. As they continue moving through the mountains, number 81 suddenly stops the group. The threat from the Metal Gear may still be out there, but now they face another problem as well. The instructors had already scattered various traps throughout the area for the simulation, completely unaware of the deadly situation that 81 and his team are now dealing with. Not long after, they finally reach the village that was supposed to be part of their mission. But what they find there shocks them. The entire place has already been destroyed. The Metal Gear has turned the village into ruins. Number 60 becomes convinced that the machine they encountered must be something from another planet. Earlier, he had seen a news report about NASA discovering a mysterious object arriving on Earth. Number 81 confirms a suspicion, believing that the strange aircraft and the machine they fought are connected to that discovery. Just then, they come across one of the instructors, barely alive. Despite the situation, number 81 urges everyone to leave immediately. His reaction angers number 15, who accuses him of acting as if he has no feelings. He brings up the story everyone knows, how 81 once carried his brother's body for 16 miles after the Kandahar attack, earning him a silver medal. But for number 81, that medal means nothing. In his mind, it is simply a consolation prize given by the military, something meant to ease the pain of what happened. The truth, according to him, is that he only managed to carry his brother for 9 miles before collapsing. That memory has haunted him ever since, leaving him with deep guilt over his brother's death. Still, 81 makes it clear that he is not ignoring the dying instructor out of cruelty. Right now, they still have injured people who need to survive. On top of that, none of them know when the Metal Gear might appear again. At that moment, number 81 notices something promising nearby. A tank that had been left behind appears to still be functional. The group works together to free the vehicle, hoping to use it as transportation for their escape. Just as they manage to get it moving, a flare suddenly shoots up into the sky. It signals that the Metal Gear has triggered one of the traps set by the instructors earlier. That also means the machine cannot be far away from their position. Everyone prepares to leave immediately, but number 15 decides to take a dangerous risk. He runs back to collect ammunition so the others will at least have something to fight with. It becomes a sacrifice. The exchange of fire is completely one-sided. Their weapons are almost useless against the Metal Gear's armored body. Even so, the distraction gives the others enough time to escape. As they flee, dozens of grenades explode around their path. Behind the wheel, number 44 manages to maneuver the vehicle skillfully. And for a moment, it seems like they have finally shaken off the Metal Gear. Then suddenly, the machine leaps directly in front of them and launches another violent attack. The impact leaves number 109 with one arm torn away. In the middle of the chaos, number 81 focuses on holding on to number 7, who nearly falls out of the armored vehicle. Despite his efforts, number 7 is eventually thrown out during the attack. Desperate to slow the Metal Gear down, number 81 detonates the surrounding cliffside, causing massive rocks to collapse and block the machine's path. But when the dust settles, a terrifying realization hits him. He is now the only soldier left alive. When number 81 regains consciousness, he sees the horrifying condition of his teammates. Most of them are gone. But against all odds, number 7 is still alive. The Metal Gear has also survived, managing to escape from the massive rocks that almost crushed it. Right in front of 81's eyes, the machine appears to be communicating with something else. The way it behaves suggests that it is not alone. Even though he is now the last soldier standing, number 81 refuses to abandon number 7. He continues dragging and carrying him forward, even as his injured knee begins to reach its limit. Around this time, the simulation mission has technically come to an end. In that quiet moment, number 7 reveals something surprising. He had actually been close friends with 81's younger brother. They had served in the same unit before the Kandahar incident. Soon after, number 81 notices the Metal Gear scanning the area again, trying to locate them. While looking around for options, he spots the mining zone that marks the boundary of the simulation area. He quickly heads toward the mine and discovers an excavator along with several explosive charges stored in the mining warehouse nearby. At that moment, 81 decides to turn the mining site into his battlefield. He fires a flare into the air to lure the Metal Gear toward the area. When the machine arrives, 81 launches a surprise attack by detonating part of the cliff. Then, using the excavator as his weapon, he boldly confronts the massive machine. During the fight, 81 notices something important. The Metal Gear occasionally releases bursts of air pressure, almost as if it is trying to regulate its internal temperature. That observation reminds him of something from the past. His younger brother used to sabotage armored vehicles by causing their cooling systems to overheat. With that memory in mind, 81 begins to form a plan. If the Metal Gear relies on a cooling system similar to a radiator, then blocking its air intake might force the machine to overheat. He moves quickly and manages to clog the airflow system. The effect is immediate. The Metal Gear begins to glow brighter and hotter, its metal surface turning red. Moments later, the entire machine explodes under the extreme heat. But before being completely destroyed, the Metal Gear makes one final attempt to attack. It releases the rest of its grenades directly toward 81, triggering a massive explosion. Despite the blast, number 81 somehow survives. This time, he refuses to fail again. With the last of his strength, he carries number 7 on his back and finally crosses the finish line of the mission. However, the battle they just survived turns out to be only the beginning. Sheridan later reveals that the alien machines have already deployed dozens of Metal Gears across Earth. Humanity has very little time to prepare. After receiving basic medical treatment, number 81 shares everything he has learned about the Metal Gear. He explains how it attacks and how it can be defeated. Recognizing his courage and determination, Sheridan finally acknowledges number 81 as a true ranger. And in that moment, 81 is given the chance to rally the soldiers who will soon face the coming war, setting the stage for the battle that will unfold in the next chapter of the story. So the moral of the story is, if your car overheats, do not panic, because it might accidentally prepare you to defeat an alien robot invasion with construction equipment.